Hey guys, welcome back. And today we're going to be following up on the quick tips video that I did on anxiety in kids. Now, I've said this before and I want to reiterate on it that anxiety can come up in children in different ways that we might not actually be realizing. It can come up in the form of stomach aches, bedwetting, feeling nauseous, not wanting to eat. These are different things that we want to look at with children that might signify that they have anxiety. And even toddlers can have anxiety. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that, especially if the person that's caring for them is anxious themselves. We have to realize that we have what we call mirror neurons in our brain. And a lot of research has shown that what we feel and what we're expressing is mirrored in the children. So if you're responding to a child anxiously, they are going to respond in the same way. So we definitely want to work on that, which means working on ourselves, which is always important. We should always be working on ourselves. I wanted to talk to you about anxiety and how to stop it. So when kids are having like kind of panic attacks, and this can also be used when they're just like having really bad temper tantrums, because this is what kids do. They have temper tantrums, and they will experience them even more if they are on the spectrum, if they have ADHD, if they have anything that they're living with in terms of a disability. So we definitely want to get tips on how to handle those things. So some of the topics that I was talking about was the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is part of our parasympathetic nervous system. So fight or flight, freeze. And then we have, we're preparing to fight. That's our biological brain. And then the parasympathetic nervous system is what actually kicks in to calm us down. So that vagus nerve is linked to our parasympathetic nervous system, and it helps us calm down. So some of the things that you can do to activate it is crouching, right? So kind of like bringing your knees up to your chest, fetal position type of form, getting them to just kind of like maybe go down onto the floor, kind of kneeling. That kind of helps them a little bit because it'll kick their nervous system in, right? It's kind of like you're jump starting it, right? If your battery dies on your car, you have to give it a jump. And this is kind of what we can do with this particular tactic. Well, some other tips to dealing with anxiety is grounding. And we've talked about this in other videos. I'm going to repeat it for those of you who have not seen those videos. And this is getting people to see and feel and get them to really come back to what it is like. Okay, so what is it that you see? I know you're really anxious right now, but, tell mommy, what is it that you see right now? Do you see that bird behind us? And you might want to prompt them. As adults, we can do this a lot more easily, but children will need the prompting, right? So put their hands literally on something. Put their hands on your face. Oh, do you feel my skin? Do you feel how soft it is? How does it feel? Does it feel warm? Does it feel cold? And this is the stuff that can get their anxiety to calm down and get them to be brought back to where they can actually start to process things logically. Same thing with a temper tantrum. Also, you want to get down to eye level, because eye level is super important with anything with kids. When you're talking to them, if you're going to reprimand them, you want to get down to eye level too. Now, people go, well, why? I'm supposed to be the parent. I should be dominating. And you are, but do it in a way that's tactful, because you can try to dominate and not be tactful about it and not get the response that you're actually looking for. Or you can be smart about it, dominate, and do it in a way that's actually good for both you and your child. So that is what I really recommend to parents out there. Lastly, I do want to remind parents out there that have toddlers or young children or any child that's living with a disability that it is tough. You are not going to have a perfect day every day. You're going to have bad days. Toddlers especially are prone to temper tantrums. Their brain is not developed. It's like you're living with little cavemen, literally, or cave people, that you're teaching to socialize, right? You're teaching them manners, and you're teaching them how to use the potty, and you're teaching them how to not throw their food. You're literally making these little kids not be animals. So it's tough. Give yourself credit. Read books, watch videos, But realize that sometimes it's not always going to go perfect. You can apply sometimes all of these things, and guess what? The panic attack will still continue. Sometimes you can apply these things and the kid will still be having an anxiety attack or a temper tantrum. I have those experiences too. I have all of these skills and knowledge about it, and sometimes they just don't work. And sometimes you just have to let a temper tantrum kind of ride out. And like I said, I just want to give you guys credit for everything that you do, and you should be giving yourself credit because parenting is not easy, especially when there's disabilities involved or anxiety involved. So kudos to you, and I hope that you tune in for another video. Thanks.